Just wrapping up today, doing our little cleanup because we have stuff everywhere by the time we're done at the end of the day. Because Tom's usually doing one project, Sarah's doing another, and I'm doing a third. And then we all assist on every other project. Today was a really good day. We got quite a bit done. We got all of the faces for the upper cabinets up yesterday. Sarah went through and primed and painted them today. The biggest news of the day, and she also drilled the holes for the handles.
I only messed up one time, you guys.
Yeah, she forgot to measure the center line. The big news for the day was getting the kitchen placed in the van and also getting the dresser in the van. So now that these are in, we were able to put the tops on the benches. So we have one top put on already, which means that now I can get in and put the inside plywood around on the inside framing, which then means I can finish my electrical and plumbing. Woohoo! So we are getting really far. Yesterday we also ran our solar. So today I went ahead and these are my two solar wires coming down right here, and then these come down connected, and then they will connect into the solar controller from Renogy. So we're moving forward. I'm obviously waiting until I connect my batteries before I finish connecting everything, because there is a specific order that you want to go through. Sarah got the kitchen sink sealed today. We're trying to decide if we like this turquoise color or if we want to just paint this whole thing white. That is going to determine the color of tile we are going to use for the backsplash. So if we end up going white, we're going to go with this greenish color. But if not, we are going to end up going with a white subway tile. So we're still trying to figure that out. I'm kind of torn, not really sure. But because we were able to get this in today, again, you always have to think ahead. I went ahead and had pre-drilled for all of my electrical and my plumbing. So you can see, like today, I went ahead and got this dimmable 12-volt switch wired. So this will be for our LED puck lights that'll be on the ceiling. So this is wired now. I also have electrical running down underneath here. So this is going to be a 110 outlet that our water filtration system is going to connect to. I also have this hose pre-ran. This is going to be our drain from our kitchen sink. And then this right here, this hose is going to be coming from underneath the passenger side bench. And this is going to be our fresh water for our sink that's going to get connected to our pump, and then our filtration system, and then up to our faucet. This is one of the coolest features of the van. Sarah's really excited about this little cubby with drawer slides that we have built in. It's like a little spice rack / space for wine and avocado
I still need to
oil.
paint that, obviously.
Messing up, babe. And then we have this other drawer, which is going to be for silverware. And then in this compartment, we're going to store our camp stove. And then this is going to be a slide-out butcher block, so that we have a slide-out cutting board. So compared to our last van, this kitchen unit is crammed full of storage space. And it's really functionally laid out because we didn't frame it with steel studs like we did last time. So we're really excited about how this is coming together.
And it's a lot smaller, you guys. So that was one of the things we wanted to do, was keep this more open so this countertop's a lot shorter. We were another foot longer last time, weren't we?
We were a foot and a half longer, I think. It was maybe 18, 15 inches. But, so it's really coming together. Things are moving. Once we get the, like I said, the bench tops on, then I'm going to be able to go in and put plywood on the back and fronts and all the sides inside the frame. And then from there, I'll be able to finish our electrical and plumbing. So, hope you guys are enjoying the journey. We're having fun, working hard. Today was the Van Life meetup at Fiesta Island. But we opted for getting more work done on our van so that we could hit the road faster. Sarah's dad was feeling motivated today, so we took advantage of that and worked him to the bone. I think he's already fallen asleep.
Yeah. I think that's true.
Fairly accurate.
And it's 6 o'clock, you guys.
And so if you are wondering, let me show you real quick too, how we connect the dresser and the kitchen to the walls, to the van. We have these furring strips that are running, which I can break this off now. Break this off. So what we did is we went ahead and we have this cleat on the back that we just put a screw through, and then that's connected to this furring strip, which is connected to the van. And so we did that up here, and we also did that down at the bottom. So there's 4 screws total, actually 5 screws total that are holding this whole thing in place. But it's Gonna be super durable. We're excited. Now go do something productive and stop watching YouTube. We're done.
Pretty productive day already. We got the tops of the benches on recently. Not sure if we showed that yet. And yesterday we went to Dixieline here in San Diego and picked up this shiplap. So it comes as like 7¼ inches, and then it just has this groove in the middle. Pretty cool stuff. So I like the look of this because it was like flat on the front. Typical tongue and groove is a little bit more rounded than that. So this is what the window is going to look like. Pretty cool. Loving it already. We decided on white for the kitchen, so I gotta do a couple more coats of paint over that to cover up that turquoise, and we're going with white stained butcher block countertops. So I've just done 1 coat of stain on that so far, and we got the butcher block from Lumber Liquidator, same as our flooring, which is gonna be that stuff down there. It's the same exact butcher block we used in our last build. They're actually discontinuing it, so we were lucky enough to find one in this area. Love it, and still need to maybe do another coat. This one's kind of a little bit darker than our last one, but we're gonna make it work. We'll figure out what we're gonna do with it. Still need to varnish it, so maybe that'll help. Yeah, that's pretty much it for now, but I am digging this shiplap look. And so a lot of you asked why we put up the furring strips, and this is a perfect example of why. So we put furring all around the window, and that's actually screwed directly into the frame of the van. And then we put this up. Obviously it's not up yet. We're just clamping it to see what it's going to look like and make sure all the measurements are right while he's figuring out this top piece that's a little awkward. And so we'll nail this into the furring. So that's why you put up furring strips. That way you don't have to be screwing into the van for everything, and you have the support. So then we'll just nail that in with our nail gun and fill the holes, and then just like this, once I paint that, you won't even be able to tell that's there. So that's how you get a nice clean finish. And around in the window, we're going to put essentially a frame in there, and it will have a little window sill on it, so that way you're not seeing the metal that's a little raw there on the window. You can get trim and put it around there, but since it wasn't even going to show, we figured why mess around with that. So we also got this little trim piece poplar down below. So everything pretty much in the van, you guys, is 3/4 inch ply and poplar. Typically 1x3s, so this is a 1x3 poplar frame around, and then 3/4 inch ply in the middle. The fronts of all of our cabinets are 3/4 inch ply, and like I said, here we got the poplar trim in there. The reason we stopped there is we're also going to do the U-shaped bench like we did last time. We're just kind of waiting a little bit longer before we do that. And then because we're going to have the U-shaped bench here, we put an outlet in because we have a little mini vacuum, so that way we can store it in the U part and have it plugged in. And then this little spout, spigot, fill hole, whatever you want to call it, is for our 23-gallon water tank that is just for the shower. So again, easy access. We decided we didn't want to drill into the outside of the van to have that outside of the van. We decided we just wanted it inside. So again, that will be inside of the little U that will connect right here. And then for the sink, we have a 10-gallon water tank that's going in that bench, and we're just gonna lift that one up to fill it. So this is material we got at Dixieline, and Alex, explain a little bit of your technique here, how you've been figuring this out.
Lots of measurements.
Measure twice, cut once, right?
Yep, and then cut again, and then cut again. This is called scribing, and it's a process because you don't want to take off too much, because if you take off too much at one time, then you've got to start with a whole new board. So it's checking, double checking,
really
cutting, and then recutting.
Pretty much as close as you're gonna get on some of this stuff, so. I love it.
It's not quite ready. Alright, Sarah's working on putting just a little bit of poly seam seal in the very small crack that exists.
Yeah, you did a good job. So the trick with this
Tight.
is try to keep one line, and you're going to want to have a wet rag with you to kind of lightly go over. That way you have a nice clean line and you don't have excess that you don't really need. And sometimes little gaps like that happen. So when you come through here with your wet rag, kind of helps to fill in those gaps, and you kind of got to go over it a couple times to really get it in there.
Resident poly seam seal master.
I'm the sander, the painter, the sealer.
So we have got this countertop fully installed, and I'm working on wiring this little 12-volt panel right here, which also has 2 USB outlets and a 12-volt outlet, so it's very functional. We put both of our shower and our sink pumps attached to this, and then we're also going to have 2 ball valves which are attached to our gray water tanks that are also going to be wired to this, so that we could spray as we're rolling down the road. So today I am working on wrapping up the inside of this box so that I can get my electrical put in here. So because we framed with the steel studs, we have to put plywood skins on. And as you can see, I'm using a few different thicknesses of plywood. So where I'm not really attaching anything, I'm just using this 1/4 inch ply. Where I am going to be attaching fuses and wires and connections and all of that, I'm using a 1/2 inch plywood on the back. And over here, this is where I'm actually going to be mounting my inverter on this side wall between my electrical compartment and my front water compartment, where I'm going to have my tank that's going to run up to the kitchen. And then over on this wall, I am also going to be using 1/4 inch plywood, because I'm not really going to be putting anything mounted over here, so that if I do have to work on something, it's easier for me to work on it face in than it is for me to be trying to work on the back side. So I've got 2 of these, the 2 end pieces on already, and what I've done through the 3/4 inch ply, I actually pre-drilled a little bit with a bigger bit so that I could use these self-tapping screws to go into the metal. I went ahead and pre-drilled anyway just because it's easier, so I pre-drilled through the steel stud. And then I also used some construction adhesive between the plywood and the steel stud, just because if these get loose, you don't want to hear rattling around of the wood between the metal. So it's just something that you can do just to help make sure that you have a really secure connection. And over here, you can see I didn't pre-drill because this is just 1/4 inch plywood. So I didn't really have any room to pre-drill. And what I'm using are just these 1 inch number 8 self-tapping screws. And they work pretty well. So they've got a pretty flat front on them, and that's one thing that I like about them. So now I'm going to wrap this up, and then we can go ahead and get our batteries and inverter installed. Oh, wow. Feels really good to have benches and walls and beer. Beer doesn't really have anything to do with the van, although there's normally beer in the van. It's Friday, and just wrapping up. It's like 5:30. It's time to clean up for the day, and feeling really good about where we are. Our goal is to get out of here on the 14th of May. Today's the 5th, I believe. 4th, 5th, I don't really know. So we got not too much longer. We have a lot of little projects left on the list. We got the closet put in today. I'm working on the electrical compartments and the plumbing compartments tomorrow. One issue that we run into a lot, because there's 3 of us working on this, Sarah is kind of like the assistant if she's not painting or sanding. She also is really great with the drill and putting on like door latches and roller catches and pneumatic hinges and all of that sort of stuff. She's really stepped up on this build and does a lot of that stuff now. And working with Tom, it always used to be me that has to, help and assist Tom. He can't do everything physically that he used to be able to do, and so, but she's really stepped up and helps in a lot of those ways. Today she was helping him with the closet and building that out while I was working on the compartments in the back and wiring our 12-volt panel. but still it's a small working space, and so you kind of end up tripping over each other and falling over each other a little bit, or we're both trying to work at the end of the bench, and I get in his way, he gets in mine. So tomorrow's going to be kind of nice because he's taking the day off from the build. There's not really much for him to do tomorrow, so I'll really just kind of be able to crank through the things that I need to get done, which is finishing both of these compartments so that I can finish the electrical and the plumbing, so that we can get everything working in here. Our fridge, we had to kind of switch it up and order it from somebody different because it wasn't going to be delivered in time before we were trying to leave. So we have that on order again. It's always just little things showing up every day that you order for the build from Amazon, or a trip to Ace Hardware or Home Depot. Today I had to go and get hex drill bits because of sinking this countertop. There was no way that I could get my drill all the way underneath. I already had a right angle driver, but it had a hex slot, and so I had to have drill bits that I could have on a hex. So there's just always little stuff like that that always seems to come up. So that is one of the nice things about building a second van, is that we already have a lot of that stuff already. So building a third van, it's not going to be that many less trips. I always try and buy like a little bit extra, and I keep that all organized somewhere. So we definitely feel like we are getting in the swing and really dialing in how to build these things out, which is a lot of fun. And make it really specific to what it is that you want and what your lifestyle is, what you want to be comfortable with. And we're just really excited to hit the road. So sorry these videos haven't been coming as often or frequently as they were at the beginning. I think I'm going to try and get this one edited tonight and get it put up. So if this is the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it and found value in it, go ahead and subscribe. If you have questions or comments, drop them down below. And as always, thank you. We really appreciate all of you, your amazing comments and your feedback. And if you were thinking about the van life, it's pretty fun, but it's definitely more expensive than you think it's going to be, and a little bit of work, a lot of work, hell of a lot of work. It's going to be a ton of work, but we think it's worth it. So have a good one. We'll see you guys next time.